What's up guys, this is Andrew at Night and we're doing a double feature this Monday. This video is going to be all the stuff you can customise on the LG G3 straight out of the box. Obviously you can root this, you can install Nova Launcher or another custom launcher and customise the whole phone even more, but this is just the stuff you can do straight out of the box, so enjoy the video. So the first thing I'm going to look at as far as customisation goes is the toggles up here. You can scroll across to the right and then hit edit. You then have the option to turn off or on any of these settings. It's actually pretty useful. It's one of the devices I've used which has the most customization for the notification panel anyway out of the box. You can also get rid of these two sliders. So there you go, you now can actually see some of your notifications. The other two are just too obtrusive in my opinion, so it's quite nice you can actually turn those off. Next thing is the thing that I was bitching about in my games video, which is the colour of the soft keys, which most of you guys will quick to point out you can actually change in settings. You go display, they call them home touch buttons, but they're the soft keys. You've then got a couple of different button combinations you can play around with, so depending on what you're used to, you can sort of put back there if you're used to the perverse Samsung thing that makes no sense. You can also put in notifications, quick slide or your dual windows depending on what you're using. You can also change the colour, which is what I wanted to do. Quite nice actually having the black and the black gradation. I don't know why anyone would use the white, but again, personal preference. If you want to use the white, you can use the white. I'm probably just button racist. You can also hide them in certain applications, which again I was complaining about in my games video. The next thing we're going to look at is the home screen customization. This is another one of the things I've seen quite a few articles about and people were talking about, claiming that it was going to be a really nice, easily themable device. In reality, these themes aren't fantastic, they're basically just icon packs. To apply these themes, you have to get something called Smart World, which took me about 4 installs. You'd have to sign up to it, etc, etc. It's kind of exactly the same as Samsung's Smart Hubs. You then can choose to download whichever themes you want, but as I said earlier, they are pretty much just icon packs, and most of them are pretty gaudy and horrible. It's the sort of thing you used to get on Eclair or sort of Donut around back in the day, and it was pretty exciting then. To be honest, now it's slightly embarrassing compared to what you can do with like other launchers like Nova Launcher, things like that. But you know what, they are giving it a try, so you got to give them props for that. But if you find yourself using the themes, I will be very, very surprised. So for example, we'll set this letter one, and even the preview basically tells you flat out all this is going to do is change your icons, and there's much better icon packs on the Play Store, and it's really easy to actually install them whether you're rooted or not on a device like this. So the whole thing, again, nice idea, not quite implemented in a way that makes me want to use it. On the lock screen, you've sort of got all the customization you'd expect. You can choose different sorts of code. So you've got your knock code, which is probably my favourite, it's actually really nice. But you've also got none, you've got the classic swipe, you've got face unlock, pattern, pin and password. So you've got all the normal things. You can also change the wallpaper. You can also choose which widgets are on the lock screen, which is pretty nice. And there's stuff like the weather animations that you used to get in HTC Sense, just to make it look a little bit more dynamic when you unlock the phone. And that's all pretty good, all works pretty nicely. If you want to, you can change the fonts on your device to some of these fairly horrible ones. You can also go into Smart World again to grab a few more different fonts, but again, this is the sort of thing that used to be quite exciting. Now I think most people agree that using Comic Sans or other slightly gaudy fonts on the phone looks a bit ridiculous, but if that's what you're into, you can easily do it. One place I wish that added some more customization is the shortcut key. This is the option to turn your camera or your Notes app on from when the screen is off just by holding the volume keys, which is actually really useful, really useful for the camera, slightly less useful for the Notes app, but it does depend on what you're using your phone for. I don't know why they didn't give the option to tie a different application to each button. That would have been really useful, but they don't. The only customization you get is to turn it on and off. Talking of turning the screen on and off, they have got a pretty cool thing which I don't think any other device has had, which is you can change the screen off animation. You got the retro TV one, which is basically standard in Android now, which if I can get to the back button, you can kind of see there. And they've also got a couple of other options. They've got black hole, which looks pretty cool. I actually quite like that one. There you go. And then you've also got the fade out one, which is slightly less interesting, but it works quite nicely still. So they are some quite nice customizable options. It's sort of a mixed bag really with the customization on this phone. Some of them are things that you wouldn't think you'd be able to change, which you can, like the fade off effect, and there's other things that you'd imagine you could change that you can't, such as the shortcuts for holding the volume buttons. Also some customization for one-handed use. Dial pad one works quite well, adds this arrow so that it's more easy to use with one hand, which works really nicely. The LG keyboard option, I haven't actually been able to find what that does, so if anyone has got that to work, comment below and tell me what it actually does. The keyboard doesn't change at all when I turn this on and off, and I can tap on the arrow keys and it does absolutely nothing. The lock screen one does work, but it only really works for the pin, so it's kind of vaguely useful depending on how you're using the device. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If there's anything else you want to see, comment below. Please hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you haven't seen me before. All my social media things are in the description, so you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and Google+. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.